Hello and welcome to Billy Ho Sports. We are back with more Breeders' Cup Classic Contenders series is already out on my YouTube channel, so check that out. We're switching over a little bit. We're going to cover some Breeders' Cup Turf contenders. We've got some really strong contenders to talk about here. I have an early top 10 video also out for the Breeders' Cup Classic. So be sure to check that out. Jump on in there and comment on who you agree or disagree with on that one in particular. But like I said, today the spotlight is on my top or a top 5 ranking of the upcoming $4 million turf clash amongst the best of the best on the grass. So now, if you just found Billy Ho Sports, I would appreciate it if you go check my channel out. I offer more than just thoroughbred horse racing. I love to play the ponies, obviously, but I also love other parts of sports gambling, like daily fantasy sports, like PGA and NFL, DraftKings, that kind of thing. So, if you're like me and you like gambling of all sorts, give me a look. I've got some great PGA, DFS type strategies and information if you're new to that sport. And obviously NFL, everybody's got their own opinions there. So it would just be an additional one. Check me out. Anyway, other than that, I think we need to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Really appreciate that. Leave a comment, smash that like, all that kind of good stuff, and let's get going. Okay, I'm going to start with the Irish bred sensation, Mostadaf, 5-year-old. Like I said, Irish bred turf monster. He's actually a dual qualifier. He's qualified for the Breeders' Cup Classic, which might be likely. I don't know for sure. I'm looking for information, but all I know right now is he's a possible entry into the October 21st Champion Stakes over in Great Britain, which is coming up in just a few days. So that just leads me to believe that I don't know. I mean, he's definitely coming back over, but I think that if he chooses to stay and run October 21st and then travels over all the way out west of Santa Anita, that really puts a damper on my opinion of him winning either one of these races, especially the Classic. So I don't know what they're going to do. They're on weather watch. Evidently, if they get more rain this week and the turf's too soft, they will pass. But it would be an opportunity to put some distance between him and another rival, Paddington, who he just defeated in the last race, the Judamonte, which punched his ticket to the Classic. Judging from his past performances, he looks like a horse who could run all day. So basically what we're doing here is assuming he's in the turf, just for purposes of this video. So according to the Longines world rankings, he's in the top 3 horses in the world. So can't be sure which race he's ultimately going to enter, but like I said, we're assuming he's here. His sire is Frankel, indeed legendary horse, unbeaten in 14 races, remarkable there. Like I said, the Judamonte, he only had 4 horses in the race, but he wasted no time going right out to the lead and defeated all those, never looking back. More in line with his usual running style is the Prince of Wales. And I'm going to be showing all these races throughout the video. So just be on the lookout for who's who. And I know it's really tough. I did the best I could with pointing out the horses in these races, but the ones that we watch from our friends overseas generally have larger fields, 14 horses in the field, and it's really hard to pick out your horses unless you know the silk's colors or you look it up ahead of time, things of that nature. So did the best that can there. But I do like this horse. His ability to change gears when the race is on the line is pretty impressive. So most definitely in my top 2 or 3 horses. And now the next one is probably my personal favorite horse, is Up to the Mark. Coming into the Breeders' Cup on a 3-race win streak, 4 out of 5 in grade 1s this season. Hit his stride this year, and most recent score was in the grade 1 turf mile at Keeneland. And in this race, we'll see a very patient Irad Ortiz kind of get stuck down in between, along with the overwhelming favorite Master of the Seas, which is the one horse in this race. And up to the mark is the 5 horse. You can't hardly even see him. I tried to point it out, but they're all trying to chase down the number 9 horse, Annapolis, who gets the lead here. And actually, the first one that gets his door opened is Master of the Seas, the one horse, who seizes the lead from Annapolis. And then Irad Ortiz's patience pays off as the window opens up just in the nick of time for the 5 horse. He was able to run down the one horse at the wire. I cashed a very nice 5-2 win ticket on that one. And it was also my single in the last leg of the late pick 4, which paid $187 for a $30 ticket. Pretty happy with that turnout. So up to the mark, like I said, versatile horse. He's won at all levels. He's won at 7. He's won at a mile and a quarter. Can come from way back off the pace, run up closer if necessary. Definitely one of my top 2 or 3 overall. Now, Aidan O'Brien, top trainer. See the King George and Queen Elizabeth stakes race. Here a couple of times probably. His last place finish there, they just eased him up. He wasn't going to win. Sometimes I guess I'm just learning more about these overseas turf races, but the turf's not always even. If you're not going to win the race, or you're not going to be getting cashing a check, what's the sense in running your horse into the ground? Ease him up, live to fight another day. Worked out pretty well for him because he went and won next out. So Luxembourg has a good shot at turning for home in that race. He has the inside rail more than one occasion in these races. You'll see a theme here on the inside rail and amongst the leaders, but giving away, finishing 4th in this race. Previous race, Prince of Wales, was also in line on the rail and leading and was blown away by Mostadaf late. But I do like the Rodin's chance to make the transition over to American style turf racing, I guess, if you want to call it that, better than Luxembourg. Just watching the races, because I always like to get those horses coming down the stretch who can close. And I'm not seeing it from Luxembourg. I'm seeing him on the lead, but I'm not seeing him finish a lot of these races. So we just saw separate races where he was in position to win late and got tired down the stretch, both at 8 and 10 furlongs, respectively. Bolshoi Ballet is the 3rd horse from the Aidan O'Brien barn. Has done more racing in the States than the others. He did finish a distant 6th in the King and Queen that we just saw a few minutes ago. Most recently scored a victory in the Grade 1 Sword Dancer, blowing them all the way down the stretch. As you can see by the screenshot, he did run 6th, actually go all the way back to 2021 Breeders' Cup Turf. As a 3-year-old, he ran 6th. He only raced once as a 4-year-old. And so he's coming back in his 5th-year-old season to make a really solid impact. I did want to mention one more honorable horse, or honorable mention, so to speak. Warlike Goddess, the mare trained by Bill Mott. I have had some interest with this race where we got this 90-1 so high that just takes off and tries to run off with the race. And you can see how the sizable lead around the turn, but this 6-year-old mare, daughter of English Channel, just rolls them up down the stretch. I mean, you can see how fast horses can run closing late on the turf. And that's what I want. I want turf horses that conserve energy, not get out like that and be 75 lengths in the lead and still can't close it out. So you don't want that. And that's 90-1 for a reason, obviously. But when you're 90-1, you got to take your shot where you can. And who knows? It could have worked out. So can't knock them for trying, right? So anyway, this daughter of English Channel doesn't make my top 5. But overall, what we're looking at is a lot of Great Britain and Irish-born horses, bred horses, have dominated this race over the past years. Chad Brown's Brick and Mortar in 2019 is probably the only non-Great Britain or Ireland bred in a decade of sample size. So no issues with horses traveling. I see most of the winners travel, and it's their first race in the States anyway. So I'm not really worried about that. Ultimately, if you want a top 5 ranking, here you go. Mostadaf, number 1, as many will have. His resume is just so powerful. Up to the Mark, number 2, closer to a 1A, in my opinion. Really blossomed in this 4-year-old campaign. So I really, really like Up to the Mark. And I guess my heart's, everybody gamblers' hearts with horses or players or teams that won them money. So there you go. Third ranked horse, August Rodin, a progeny of Deep Impact, who's arguably the greatest Japanese bred horse. Only lost twice in 14 starts. We'll give some pedigree backbone to August Rodin. And then Luxembourg comes in at number 4, and mostly due to those late race falters that I showed you. I still think he's a top contender, more than qualified. And then Bolshoi Ballet rounds out the top 5. I think if anybody other than Up to the Mark, actually, if anybody can get it, it's going to be Todd Pletcher's Up to the Mark. But Bolshoi Ballet, I wouldn't exactly count out. Might be big odds. It's really hard to predict what this horse will do. We've only really seen it, its explosiveness in that one race, the last one that we talked about, the Sword Dancer, but it was more of a weaker field event. It seems Bolshoi Ballet seems more of a grade 2 tier below. That's why they didn't make the top 5. So I hope you enjoyed the show. I appreciate everybody for joining me. Lots more content coming out. We've just scratched the surface on the rest of these Breeders' Cup races. So until the next time, we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.